I went to work for thoroughbred and standardbred breeding farms, some of the leading farms in the country. They fold out Triple Crown winners, whether it be in the standardbred or the thoroughbred. I also worked for Brookledge Horse Transportation, which is the leading horse transport company in the United States. And I worked, at the sales, the leading sales in the country. And then for the past 20 years, I've operated my own boarding facility. And about 15 years ago, I decided to become involved in horse welfare. And first off is, I don't know how many of you have read Black Beauty. Okay, recently, as a child, well, Black Beauty was written in 1877 by Anna Sewell, who also was handicapped, and she depended on the London carriage horses to her transportation. So she, when she wrote Beauty, she wrote it from observations that she had seen. And one time when I was at New Holland, I realized that what I was seeing at New Holland was Black Beauty. And, Black Beauty is a well-bred horse. He's well-mannered, he's well-trained, he's sold to a responsible horse owner. Everything is good until Beauty's owner becomes sick. They can't keep Beauty, Beauty gets sold. Sold to another nice stable where the management care is good, he's well-fed, the stalls are clean, the equipment's nice, but they use abusive training methods. Beauty's welcome there until Beauty gets hurt. Well, now Beauty can't stay there anymore and they sell Beauty. And they're not as concerned about where Beauty goes. So Beauty ends up, he's being sold now, he's older and he's got a soundness issue. So now when Beauty, he's taking a step down and he's owned by an owner who cares but doesn't have the same amount of resources that his first two owners had. Everything is going well until Beauty again has to be sold because his owner is sick. So now Beauty gets bought by an owner who is not as involved, and this is an owner who hires someone else to take care of his horse, and this man steals from the owner, and who suffers is Beauty. So Beauty now is neglected, and well-bred, well-mannered horse, well-trained horse, now being neglected and being sold again. And this time he ends up in a home where the person is abusive. And they're going to get the last dollars out of Beauty. And so Beauty goes through a couple more homes and he's almost starved to death, worked to death. Well-trained, well-mannered horse. This is what happens. He ends up finally at the sale for the last time, and now he's in the killer pen. Fortunately for Beauty, his former groom, Joe Green, recognizes him and takes him home. But for 5 million American horses, there was no Joe Green. And they were forced with electric cattle prods and whips into double-deck trailers sent to the slaughterhouse. So, what's the moral of the story? You are the only person that stands between your horse and abuse, neglect, and slaughter. So many people say, this isn't going to happen to my horse. He's won this, he's done this, I'm going to find him a good home. But a good home by reason of death, divorce, disability can turn bad really, really quick. Okay, so, it comes to, what's your responsibility? And your responsibility is you need to make the commitment to your horse to make sure that they don't become a victim. And, you think, I take good care of my horse, I'm never going to, abuse him. And that's how I was. I did what I was supposed to do, everything. And after years of hearing about the New Holland sale, and the New Holland sale is not unique. There are sales like this all across the United States happening every day. But when I went to that sale, it wasn't, I saw the conditions of the sale, the conditions of the horses, the fact that they were being loaded in doubles, which was illegal. But what struck me the most was that nobody did anything. There were horses in need of a medical attention immediately, horses that needed to be put down, horses that were being brutally treated. The law was being broken, and hundreds of people, horse people, stood by and did nothing. And that bothered me for, weeks. And I thought, what can I do? I thought, I can't buy these horses. I mean, where would I start? Where would I stop? And how would I choose? Which one deserves, And how is that going to change what caused the problem? So I decided that I was going to get the law enforced. And there were some people here earlier at another talk about cruelty, and they were very frustrated. About they've called and they can't get anything done. I understand that. It took me 3 years to get the Pennsylvania State Police to come to New Holland and investigate the crimes that were being, committed at that auction. But I was able to get the New York State Police. They responded immediately when I contacted them, and I said, week after week, there are trucks coming through your state. They're New York residents that are violating the law. And they said, you tell us when these trucks are coming and we'll do our job. And they did. So here I was, one person, just one person, didn't have, some wealthy organization, millions of dollars, but I was able to get the double-deckers, the law enforced. And that's, I'll bring this poster board over. This talks about the various arrests that were made because of my efforts. Some of this was done before I became involved, but just to show you that, even one person can do something. So I believe strongly that as horse owners, horse lovers, members of the horse community, it's all of our responsibility to look out for the horse. So what can you do? You can keep your eyes open when you're driving in Pennsylvania. If you see a double-decker, look inside. If there's horses' ears in there, call 911. And we've been handing out cards ever since, over several years now, at least since the law's passed. These postcard-sized cards, you can put them in your car. You can download them off the internet, carry them in your glove box, up on your visor. Gives you a place to write down the information. It gives you exactly what the statute is. You call 911. You don't call the SPCAs because they cannot make a motor vehicle stop. You need law enforcement to make that stop. So that's something that you can do to do that. Getting back to, what I decided to do, I also worked on getting the law against, horses being sold, illegally. I mean, you couldn't tell me that this horse that's standing there, that's a skeleton, this is not a violation of the law. And I jumped through, did everything the humane agents would tell me, and they still wouldn't do anything. And it was finally, the state police that took action. And this law had been on the books since 1985, and in 1999, I went into the auction and I picked out this horse right here and that horse right there, and the state trooper wrote the people up, took them before the judge. They pled guilty, fined, then they did a really good thing. They wrote a bad check. So then, now they committed, now that's a misdemeanor. So now they ended up with a criminal record. But interesting story about these horses here is the man that brought these horses up from North Carolina. His name is Schuffler. And Debbie Metcalf back here, Stolen Horse International, she's at booth 819. She can tell you about Schuffler. He also stole her horse. Okay, so, these people, these dealers are involved in a lot more than just buying and selling these horses that shouldn't be sold. And the dealers did not do this to these horses, but they participated in it. This man here said, he came to the sale and he started trying to sell that horse, and he said, I just hate to see, you know, a horse neglected like this. It's just so terrible.